"It's your fault I cheated," she said. Her voice didn't shake. "You didn't please me enough." The words landed like a blade twisting between my ribs. I stood there in the kitchen, my hands still wet from the dishes I'd been washing, the faint smell of lemon soap clinging to the air. I thought I'd misheard her. That maybe the exhaustion in her tone was something else, anger, frustration, not confession. But she stared right at me, her arms crossed, the faint smirk at the corner of her mouth too calm to be guilt. "What did you just say?" I asked. She didn't blink. "You heard me." Something in the room shifted. The air itself felt heavier, the hum of the refrigerator louder, the ticking of the wall clock unbearable. My throat tightened. "You cheated on me." Her sigh came out slow and tired, like I was a child asking something obvious. "I didn't plan to. But honestly, Mark, what did you expect? You've been so distant lately. You don't even try anymore." I laughed, a short, humorless sound. "So this is my fault now. You sleep with someone else because I didn't, what? Compliment you enough." Her eyes narrowed. "Don't twist my words. You stopped seeing me. I felt invisible. And he made me feel wanted again." He. The word echoed in my head like a gunshot. "Who?" I asked quietly. She hesitated, biting her lip. "It doesn't matter. It's over." "It matters to me," I said. My voice was shaking now. "Who is he?" When she finally said his name, Ethan, I felt the room tilt. Ethan was my coworker. The one who came to our house last summer to help me fix the deck. The one who joked with her over beers while I ran to the store for more nails. I felt the memory slice through me, sharp and mocking. "How long?" I asked. She looked down, twisting her wedding ring. "A few months. It just happened." "No," I said. "It doesn't just happen. You don't trip and fall into someone else's bed." She flinched, but her voice hardened. "You're acting like I'm the only one to blame. Do you even remember the last time you touched me like you cared? You're always working, always tired. I needed something you couldn't give me." I stared at her, my heart thudding so hard it hurt. "So instead of talking to me, you went to him." Her eyes flicked up, glistening. "You never would have listened." The silence stretched between us until the ticking clock became unbearable. I turned away, gripping the counter to steady myself. The lemon scent now made me sick. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling while she breathed evenly, her face turned away. Every small movement she made felt like a betrayal, the way her hand brushed the blanket, the way she exhaled through her nose. I wanted to wake her up and scream, to ask her how she could still sleep so soundly after detonating our life. The next morning, I didn't make coffee. She sat at the table, scrolling through her phone, acting as if the world hadn't shifted. "I'm sorry," she said finally, her tone detached, like someone apologizing for being late to dinner. "I didn't mean for it to come out that way last night. I just needed to be honest." "Honest?" I repeated. "That's what that was. I thought you deserved to know." "Then why do I feel like you're defending it?" She set her phone down. "Because it wasn't meaningless, Mark. I won't lie about that. I cared about him. But I chose to end it. I chose you." The words hit me like a cruel joke. "You chose me. After what? Testing your options." She looked at me with something close to pity. "You can't understand what it's like to feel unwanted for so long. To reach out and get nothing back." "Then you should have left," I said. My voice cracked. "You should have had the decency to walk out instead of crawling into his arms." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were real. I didn't trust anything about her anymore. Not her words, not her gestures, not even the way she breathed my name. The days that followed were a blur. We spoke only when necessary. Every corner of the house seemed haunted by something. Her laugh from a week ago, her perfume in the hallway, her toothbrush beside mine. I started noticing little things I'd ignored before. The way she'd started dressing differently months ago, the sudden late nights, the secretive smiles at her phone. The signs had been there, and I'd been too blind to see them. One evening, I found her sitting on the couch, crying quietly. She looked up when I entered. I hate what I did, she said. But I still love you. I sat across from her, numb. No. You love the version of me that made you feel safe. The man who didn't know. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. You're punishing me, she whispered. No, I said softly. I'm realizing who you are. A long silence settled between us. The clock ticked, steady and cruel. She finally stood, wiped her eyes, and said, if you can't forgive me, I'll go. I looked at her for what felt like the last time. You already left, I said. She packed that night. I watched her car disappear down the street, her taillights bleeding red into the darkness. Weeks later, I found out through a friend at work that Ethan had moved to another city. She hadn't gone far, just far enough. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear her words, it's your fault. And I wonder if she truly believed that, or if it was just easier than admitting what she'd destroyed. Either way, she was right about one thing, I hadn't pleased her enough. I'd given her everything, and somehow, that still wasn't what she wanted.